Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, in case you ain't know so, and welcome back to another dope episode of Sports with SoSo. Coming to you live, y'all. This week, we got the Marlins starting their season in a terrible way. The Heat have won 3 in a row to stay in the playoff race, and the Panthers are dealing with some injuries before they head into the playoffs. It's time to take a ride, y'all. Let's go! I know we don't talk a lot of soccer on this. I know we don't, but I have to give a small little nod.
What are you
Chelsea.
talking about, dog? Because I don't know about you, but I'm a big.
All right, cuz, what a crazy game today, dog. And I'm watching it on the way here, dog, and I'm like, there's no way this shit is happening, man. Shout out to all my United fans, dog, the homies. I feel bad. I don't think we deserved that game, right? And those points, but fuck, the way that they won it was crazy, dog. Literally extra time of extra time.
To quote the great Dominic Toretto, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Winning is winning. Is that because that was his signature move right there, right? Like boom, because every movie after that.
I wanted to do that in every single picture that I took on a boat.
I'm gonna do it on the golf trip. Every picture's gonna be like that. Every video, I'm just gonna be like, boom. Miss, make, chunk, doesn't matter.
We were just talking about that pre-show, man. The boys are buzzing. 28 days until the Miami Golf Bros open.
Bro, we're right there. Shout out to Innisbrook. It's going to be fun to be there again. The hospitality is amazing there, right?
It's great.
Food was good.
For the most part, when we needed it,
Yeah.
it was great.
No, and they left us alone for the
Exactly. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The other part of it, too.
That's good hospitality, in my opinion, you know? So that place is dope. We're going to have a great time, and the boys are definitely buzzing. And what's cool is that everybody's now, like, they're doing a lot more golf, right? Because you're either getting that 9 round in for spark, or you're playing on the weekend in the morning or afternoon just to make sure the handicaps are dialed in.
You got to, dog. I got the net set up. I'm hitting balls in the backyard whenever I can. Yeah. Spark, like you mentioned. We missed you out there this week, you and John.
I got to get out there.
Got to get you guys out there.
Got to get out there again, man. That's a good vibe. And it's good practice. I feel like that's a real good, fun practice, bro. You know what I mean? Low pressure. You go out there and you work on your game. If you want to work on your driver, you know, there's plenty of places that you can hit driver, and that they have them everywhere. You know, that's the cool shit, man. You don't have to just drive to Miami Lakes. You can be in Pembroke Pines. You can be down south. It's dope, man.
Yeah, it's super dope. I enjoy it, man.
Yeah, man.
Golf is fun. We got a lot of golf coming up, my boy.
Can't wait, man. I can't wait. And if you haven't checked out my man's second part of the video that he dropped from the scramble, what a great video.
I didn't talk to you about that video, but that video for me did numbies.
It's great. It's great. It's a great video.
It outperformed all the other videos that I have on the channel so far.
Let's go, baby.
Something about that video, people enjoyed it. Maybe it was the misery of us missing all those birdie putts. Maybe it was the joy of making birdie putts.
Let's not downgrade the production value that gets put into this, dog.
If you are listening to this and you are a fan, just follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. It'll help me out. I'm trying to get to 500 right now on Instagram. I know it's kind of pathetic, but I'm trying to get it to 100 on YouTube.
We're almost there.
I'm at 95, 94, something like that.
There.
So
we're almost there.
Hook your boy up. Drop a like. Drop a comment.
Subscribe. And hit that notification for sure. Bro, you know what? I got a whack-ass notification today.
Well, I'm trying to think. Which one is it? The one about the Dolphins?
No.
Which one?
About the Marlins.
Oh, that one. That's the one I was thinking about. Yes. That was tragic, man. That was I'm glad it came out today, though, and not tomorrow.
Right.
So we have a chance to talk about this.
Right.
But big news right here.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, if you haven't heard yet or if you haven't seen it yet, Yuri Perez, he's out for the season.
Our young hopeful.
And you know what? I told this to the guy that I usually talk baseball with at work. You know, the Marlins are a team that has consistently, as a franchise, right, regardless who's the GM, who's the owner, whatever, as a franchise, they've always targeted young pitchers and hoping that they can excel, you know, their standards or their status quo, right? And they've hit home runs before, right? Dontrell, you know, Beckett, you know, a bunch of guys. There's a bunch of guys that you can name. And most recently, getting Sandy, right, and seeing him develop as a pitcher, ultimately become a Cy Young winner. But recently, right, the guys that we've been banking on as the young gunners for pitching, the Yuri Perez, the Sixto, Max Myers, even Luzardo, right? Like for some point, those dudes, bro, I don't know if it's like a curse or whatever, but it just so happens that every single time the Marlins get close to having somebody pop off, that person goes down.
Last year it was Jazz and Sandy.
Yeah. You know, and more, and I feel like it's more debilitating in the pitching prospect, right? Because
sure,
like,
of course,
that's where we're the weakest.
It sets you back even further. Jazz was able to come back last year and finish out the season with the core squad,
right?
That's going to be playing this year
and play well.
These pitchers, you're literally on an island. You're on the mound by yourself, and you need that playing time. You know, a whole year out because of Tommy John surgery. That's going to be brutal setback. But bright side is the kid's 20 years old.
Yes, no, and that's
Max
what
Meyer's 25.
Yeah, they give you the hope. You know what I mean? But where does that leave us for this season?
Right, that's the bigger underlying question.
And even for next
about
season,
the future for Yuri, and you know what he can contribute or not contribute in the near future for the Marlins. But also, where does it leave the Marlins now, who have started? And I don't know if we've mentioned this so far in this segment, but off to the worst start that you can imagine possible in, you know, an MLB start.
Not only are they 0-7 to start the season, right? They're the first team to start 0-7, right, after making the playoffs the previous year.
Rough. That's
bad history to make. Dog.
Yeah, you don't want to be associated with that stat.
You don't want to be the first team to ever have that happen since this game's been being played in the 1800s. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on. That's a problem. That's a problem. And that's where, you know, kind of where I was leading us to, because now those injuries have really fucked us up. As far as the Marlins go, we don't have enough depth in the pitching department, whether it's in the bullpen or in the starting rotation, right? We don't have enough depth there. And then we find ourselves losing games, and it's not because we're not scoring runs. It can't be that, right? Because you and I both knew that this team has enough talent, you know, as far as the lineup goes, to produce runs on any given night. And they don't have to be a team that scores 7 to 9 runs a game. They can be a team that scores 4 to 6 runs, you know, 3 to 5 runs a game, and play well and be in the game with a chance to win the game. But when the pitching staff doesn't give them even a fighting chance, right, then you're asking a lot of a team that's not just there yet. Even if it was later on in the season, I still wouldn't think that this team is there yet. As far as completely gelled, everybody knows their roles, everybody excelling in their roles, and then doing it consistently.
Yeah. No, I think we're going to be much better than we are right now. And I know that's not saying much considering how bad we're playing right now.
Right.
As a whole. But you've seen glimpses, you know what I mean? We had a grand slam already. You know, we've had some good plays here and there defensively or whatever. Like you're saying, they got to figure it out. They got to gel together. You know, as far as losing Yuri and, you know, the lack of depth that we have because of other injuries that we have already, the immediate answer has to be a trade, right?
Well, what do you think the Marlins are willing to give up?
Well, that's the problem.
Because nobody's going to call for a prospect, right? Nobody's really going to trade a starting pitcher today for you, right? Just for a prospect straight up. No, you're going to have to give that guy a prospect, a really good prospect, a couple of, you know, draft picks, maybe another player, maybe give some salary, take some salary, whatever. I don't think the Marlins are in a position to do that right now, so early in the season.
Not just that, though. I don't even know if they have the money to do that right now.
Fuck no.
Because I'm looking at like their I'm not sure if I'm reading this right, but it looks like their cap space starts opening up next season. It looks like this season they're still on a tight budget.
Yep.
So I don't even know if they have the money to take on a big contract or something like that.
No. And again, the guys that we brought in trades last year or made moves or added to the team, you know, as we were building it, those guys are the ones performing. Jake Berger's leading the team right now in batting average. Brian De La Cruz and Josh Bell have both gotten off to great starts. And this is really good because now we have guys, like I said earlier, in our lineup that are performing regularly and doing it well regularly. But it's just going to be hard to find somebody to pitch and come out and dominate, you know, or go out there and steal the light. I don't see a starting pitcher that is on our roster right now coming out and being like, all right, I'm going to take this first ace position and hold it down. Everybody expects Luzardo to do it because he's the one that's the biggest name and he has the most experience, right, when it comes to starting, especially down here. But yeah, man, we talked about it last week. We know he's not a number one.
Yeah,
we know he's not a number one.
Right.
So we're already asking him to do a lot to step into that role every 5 days and put your arm out there and pitch
and get wrecked.
Not necessarily get wrecked because he'll have good games, right? He'll have good games, but fuck, you know.
Well, there's good news.
There is
for
good
right
news.
now, at least. You know, the Marlins, as we're recording this, which we're recording this on Thursday, April. What is this? The 4th. The Marlins are currently up on the Cardinals as they start their road trip 5-3 in the 7th.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, we'll see. It's okay for right now. We'll see. We got a couple more innings here, and we'll find out.
Yeah,
but you know, it would be some typical Marlins fashion to lose every single home game to start the season, and then first game on the road, go out and get a win. Your first win of the season.
It would be nice just to get one.
Cardinals aren't a great team, so
yeah. But at the same time, like
that's what we said about the Pirates too.
Bingo, right? And when we talked about the homestand, it was like, all right, we don't expect you guys to come out here and win 5 out of 7. We don't expect you guys to win 6 out of, but go out there and win 3. Even if you start the season 3 and 4, fuck it. You got 3 wins. You got something to work on. You got plenty of tape. Hit the road, Jack. Come back and do your thing and keep working on it.
Yeah.
But these type of performances, especially in the LA series, man, those performances were like, I felt like we just blew up. We were in it at the beginning and then boom, blew up. We give up 3 runs here, 2 runs there. And it's like, that's what we can't have. And that's the drop-off. That's going to be the drop-off that we're going to witness every game this season, where it goes from decent starting pitching performance, right, to the handoff from the starter to the bullpen, and then boom.
Drastic decline. Now,
the games that we win or we stay competitive, I'm sure that the bats pick up that slack, right? Because in that transition, maybe they give up, the bullpen gives up a run, but, the lineup comes up and gets 2 runs back, in the next inning and a half or whatever. So I with the Marlins, I just, dog, it's frustrating right now because the season's over, dog. We lost our best pitcher, the guy that would have been the most entertaining to watch, right? In Yuri. Max is still there, but let's see what he can do. Hasn't shown much yet. And we're 0-7. And we're 0-7. The one way that the Marlins couldn't start the season is the way that they happened to start the season, dog. And now we're at a position where Marlins baseball is going to be a little bit rough to watch. There's going to be a lot of trade rumors around the Reyes, around Luzardo, around Jazz even, because if you're trying to get starting pitching, that usually comes at a price.
Of course.
And you have to be willing to trade something of value.
And you got to do something to put asses in the seats, man. I mean, they already have the lowest ticket cost. Did you see that?
Yep.
That graph, that chart?
Yeah. And they're
$13 average for a ticket right now.
And let me tell you, they're getting saved by the fact that Oakland is having that issue with, their fan base and the ownership and
moving to LA
and shit. So fans aren't showing up. The other day, had 75 people in the stadium, dog. 75. Or I think 80, something like that. That's really bad.
That's rough.
That's really bad. That's really bad.
Marlins games get bad, but they'll get a couple hundred people in
there. They'll get 1,000 in there.
Yeah.
They'll get 2,000 in there. Like you said, the tickets are that cheap that the people who live around there can take their kids out there. Now they have smart promotions, the all-you-can-eat seats, $50. Come out here
for certain games. I heard.
Yeah, but it still works. Guess what? That's a sellout. That's a guaranteed sellout, or close enough, right? Where you put 25,000 people in the building because 10,000 people bought all-you-can-eat seats.
Maybe. Just got to win, man. You start winning, you're going to just instantly, people will gravitate towards that ballpark.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people like baseball down here, but you just got to be better. Got to be better, man. And that shit sucked, man, because went to the home opener. That shit was a vibe. Had a good time out there with the boys, and then battled all the way into extra innings and ultimately couldn't get it done, bro. And Jazz played good that game too, man. Like, everybody played well. Berger had, I think 3 RBIs that day. He was fucking balling. Balling. Like you said, man, they're playing in St. Louis right now, and then they're going to be heading up to New York. By the time you guys hear us again, that trip will be over, the Yankees. And hopefully they can win 2 games there. Win 2 games out of those next 6.
Just win a game right now, bro.
Take one.
Win this game
Get one, dog. All you got to do is get one, dog. You got to do is get one. We'll check in on those Marlins again in a little bit. A team that we've been continuing to keep an eye on is the Miami Heat. And I feel like through all their ups and downs and all their bullshit,
they got a big game coming up, man.
They do, but they also won a real big game recently, right? When they beat the Knicks 109-99 at home. Julius Randle didn't play, but we also didn't have Tyler Hero. So, there was a lot of people missing on both sides.
Sure. Randle's out for the year, too.
Yeah, saw that come out today. And, honestly, it was a good win for the Heat. And that's hard for me to say.
Great.
I wouldn't say great. It was a really good win for the Heat because you're facing a playoff opponent. Right. And this is playoff atmosphere. It's a franchise that we have a lot of history against. So you needed to win this important game, right? And you were just coming off of 2 victories against inferior opponents, but there were 2 victories, right?
And it has implications for a playoff standing.
Yeah, every game is a playoff game for us. You know, Terry Rozier actually said that the day that he balled, which is crazy because the day he balled, he had balled the previous game against Washington. He led the team with 27 points. Yeah. And then that game against New York, the dude went off and hit like 8 or 9 threes, career high in that for him, and also obviously a career high for him as far as points go as a Miami Heat, but him scoring 34 points, dog, like that's the shit that we were talking about when he came in. Who's it gonna be? Can he be the guy who's a 20-point, a game type of night guy? And he has been for us, you know what I mean? And that shit has really made the difference, especially with Hero being out, because we've seen Jimmy struggle and we've seen Jimmy do good. We've seen Jimmy play, we've seen Jimmy sit out. But Bam has not really been an offensive threat, right? Because we know how much he does on the court. So we need somebody to pick up the slack. And I'm glad that it's Rozier because it kind of makes me feel better about the trade.
Of course. That's exactly what we brought him in for, bro.
Yeah.
And I think he does something for our offense, bro. Like because he can not only take it into his hands and, like if he's feeling it, anybody can have an off night.
Right.
But if he's feeling it, he's a 34, point game that he had. That was just a great performance that he had. And going into the postseason, him grooving like that with the team now, feeling it, knowing where his spot is, and like knowing how to pick and choose his spots, it's only going to bode well for us, bro. So I'm excited to see some Rozier in the playoffs.
Me too, man. And I think that his ability to drive and kick is big. He didn't have a crazy assist game in that win against New York. I think he ended up with 3 or 4 assists, but they were big assists. Right, they're coming off of him hitting a 3, him hitting a shot, him getting to the bucket, right, or making free throws after getting fouled, and then boom, he will drive again or present that threat at the 3-point line, have space to drive, and then find an open teammate who maybe didn't take that shot, but at least they drove, got to somebody else, and we got an easy bucket. His ability to create like that, and he plays really good off the pick and roll as well with Bam, makes it really hard for the team to defend that because if Bam's hitting his jumper and Terry's hitting his jumper, you can't defend that elbow. You know what I mean? And that probably gives Bam's more options to go to the basket, play back, whatever. We're going to need him to keep this level of performance.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. You just keep it up because, bro, Jimmy, I don't know, man. He's not playing to that Jimmy level, and I hope that Rozier coming in and kind of taking over doesn't, let him, make him feel like, all right, now somebody else got it. I'll just kind of take the back seat to this because that's not what we need. We need Jimmy to start taking over games again, bro. I don't know where that Jimmy's been, but I'm gonna start putting out ads to see if anybody's seen him.
And what would you say, right? Because I'm obviously a harsh critic on Jimmy and his availability. His availability is his biggest fucking trait. Yeah. And he's missed 20 games this year. This is something that if he plays even 20% of those games, right? 20% of those games, we're not in a position where we're at right now. I guarantee it. Because Jimmy is that good, right? That we would win a majority of those 20% of games that he would play in the extra season, which probably puts us in the top 4. And we don't have to worry about fucking staying out of the play-in tournament.
Yeah, maybe. But right now we're sitting at 6, which is better than the play-in tournament.
Yes.
Some things kind of go our way. And, the bright side is we're sitting in the 6th spot right now, which at this point now it's like, all right, now we're starting to control our own destiny. We got help somewhere else. Somebody lost that we needed them to lose. And now we're in a spot where we don't have to really worry about the play-in tournament as long as we can continue to play how we've been playing recently.
No, we have to keep that level of intensity because it's a playoff game every single game.
Tonight's game
is huge, right? A Philly. The game against Houston, that they're playoff bound. The game against Indiana, they're playoff bound. We'll be playing Dallas, they're playoff bound. Like, how good can this team play to go into the playoffs? If everybody wants to say, all right, Steven, we got to buy into Heat culture, dale, I'm in. But that means that we wash away everything that's happened up until this point of the season and say, you know what, with these next 7 games left, go out there and win 5. Every game at home. Every game at home, win. If you lose tonight against Philadelphia and Embiid's back, they're on the road, they're going to be hyped up because he's back. All right, I can accept that, right? Tough road game.
Sure.
But come back home and win the next 3 at home against Houston, Indiana, and Atlanta.
I'm on the other side of this thing, though.
I don't know how important the game...
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But tonight's game against Philadelphia with Embiid and
huge.
Maxey and against a former point guard who shall remain nameless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really, really, really want to beat these guys, man.
Especially since we lost the last matchup against them, right?
Exactly. And we need this right now. Put our dick on the table.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to hold myself from saying it, but fuck that. Put our dick on the table, bro. Like, let's go out there and beat Philly, really get confident, start grooving, and like, all right, let's knock all these little pegs down one by one.
Let them hang. And you know what?
Houston, you're done. You know what? With Dallas, you guys got us last time. Now's when it matters. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna smoke you now. You know what I mean? Like, win all of them, bro. Win it out right.
I think they could do it, bro. We've already beaten them twice this season. Yes, and Philadelphia won in that comeback game that Embiid came back to the team, but he also, bro, was dead tired. He put in a hell of an effort, and they won a close game, 109-105. So he's gassed. This dude is not in optimal shape. If this team, especially Bam, right, can outwork him, don't outscore him, don't outplay him, outwork him and make him tired, that's probably the game plan for tonight, right? And put the stress on those guys. Tobias Harris is not playing tonight. He's going to miss the game. Tyler Hero hasn't been cleared to return yet. I don't know when we can expect him, but winning 3 in a row is a good feeling. If you can go out there and use that energy to beat a really good opponent, a team that you not only benefit yourself, but you also kind of like knock them down as well, right? They got to go for it. They got to go all out for it.
I'm expecting big things from the boys tonight.
Yeah.
Especially Jimmy, dog. Big things from Jimmy.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to wear your jersey proudly again. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's that bad blood there with you in Philly. Like, bring that heat, dog. No pun intended, but yet at the same time, intended.
Yeah, for sure. I said in the chat with the boys today, I was like, the one matchup you don't want to get in the first round is the Celtics, right? Obviously, you want to avoid that to the max.
Sure.
Right? But any other matchup, theoretically, you could look at it, and in the worst case scenario, it becomes a 50-50 game or 50-50 series, right? Worst case scenario.
Okay.
Right? Because if you're telling me, hey, we got to start the playoffs against Cleveland, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about playing Orlando.
And as it sets, it's Cleveland right now.
Right now. I'm not worried about playing Orlando. I'm not worried about playing New York. Like, I'm not worried about playing Milwaukee. I'm not worried about none of those teams. There's only one team.
Worried about Milwaukee?
No, that team is a fucking disaster, bro. Sure, okay. Doc Rivers is their head coach.
That's the biggest problem for them. I agree. Okay, go on.
You know how I feel about that guy.
Yeah, a lot of people feel the same way.
I don't fear those guys. We own those motherfuckers. So yeah, any other matchup, I feel like at worst, right, depending on injuries and who's playing, who's not, at worst is 50-50. If he can avoid being in the play-in tournament, get that rest, get that game plan together for our opponent, that's going to help us so much more in the long run, Don. Because we know that in order for this team to win a championship, we know this already. We've seen it. This is not an opinion. This is merely a fact. In order for this team to win a championship, everyone has to be playing well.
Yeah.
Everyone. Everyone who's considered a main guy or a role player has to play well. And when they do, this team is nasty. They're unstoppable because it's truly 9 guys, 10 guys playing all-out basketball, right? Not one guy going all out and carrying 6 other dudes, which happens on other teams, right? But we need that to happen. And I don't know if we're there yet. A big win like this, or you know what? Better yet said, seeing how these guys finish the season in these next 7 games is what's going to show us if the role players are back. Is Caleb back, right? Is Duncan back? Is Jaime back, right? He's been kind of quiet. Like, where are we at with these guys' performances? You know what I mean?
Right.
Are they playing back to their high level? If they are, then great. We know that we're going to be on and popping. We know that we can trust in Rozier. We know that we can trust in Bam. Obviously Jimmy. So yeah, there's a little bit of question there. And the one guy that I think was the guy that I least expected it is Highsmith. right? I thought that he would have been out of the rotation by now, but he's been playing well, man, and putting up good performances in the limited minutes that he has. And if he's our 9th, 10th guy, and he's the one playing well, and everybody else in front of him plays at that same level, at least at that same level, we'll go far, dog. But they have to show it.
Yeah, they got to want it, bro. And Jimmy needs to be there, too.
Yeah, he has to be there. You can't miss any more games, son.
Yeah.
Nah,
I think no matter what, bro, like at the end of the day, like the role players, obviously I agree with you. They have to fire and click, but I still think this team still runs through Jimmy Buckets. Like it has to be
I hear you.
him. And like, yeah, like it's okay if he doesn't have a good night, you know what I mean? In any particular series in the playoffs, and then the team picks him up. But like, I think Jimmy's that guy, you know what I mean? Whether he's taking control, you know, running the point, you know, like the game just flows so much better through Jimmy. And I hate when he does that shit where he just kind of plays off the ball. Yeah. I really hate that.
He has to be more aggressive. Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. That's what I'm talking about. You get it. Why shouldn't he?
Well, look, tonight's a very important game, right? Or that game against Philadelphia. A loss puts them back in the 8th spot. A win gets them even closer to that 5th spot because we're technically 2 games behind New York, but we own the tiebreaker as well. So, yeah, bro. Heat basketball is going to be very, very interesting. Don't miss those games. These next 7 games are going to be tight. Don't miss them.
Yeah. By the time you're listening, excuse me, by the time you're listening to this, you already know the result of the Sixers game. So just insert emotions here, depending on whether we won or we lost. I'm going to say we won. So let's go Heat.
Let's go Heat, baby.
Order some pizza today.
Let's do it. Shout out to the Panthers for clinching the playoff spot. Officially, right? The division is still up, or the division is still up for grabs, and so is the conference. They're currently 4 points behind the Boston Bruins. Even though they have more wins, we still have more losses than they do. Bruins have only lost 17 times this season. That's crazy, dog.
They're stacked.
Yeah, bro. Just for comparison, the Panthers, who've been really good, Toronto, who's been really good, have both lost 23 and 24 games, respectively. So, yeah, Boston is killing it this year, man. But the Panthers are right there, bro, and they're literally fighting with 6 other teams for the best record in the NHL. I really think that the Rangers could run away with it.
What's OTL? Is that overtime loss? Overtime loss?
Yeah, but you get points for that, remember.
Yeah, they got 15 overtime losses.
Look at that.
The Panthers only got 5.
There you go. So either we win or lose, baby. Ain't no ties in this house, homie.
You know what I'm saying?
But, you know, credit to the Panthers. They've been dealing with some adversity, right? Ekblad has been, you know, dealing with some injuries, and he's been officially rolled out until, like, the playoffs start. Which is tough because he's such a veteran and such a, you know, core player for this Panthers lineup. But I think that this team is deep enough at this point where we can kind of carry, you know, his slack a little bit and just kind of figure out how we can move forward and continue to get some wins. You know, I think that is part of them, like, easing him into the playoffs, right? Because when he comes into the playoffs, that guy's playing damn near every shift, right? And he's a little bit on the wrong side of 30, they say in professional sports. But Ekblad's so important for this team that, you know, if the Panthers and the coach are looking at it in the way of like, you know what, let's just give him these next 6 games off, these next 5 games off, and say, you know what, let's get him back to 100%. Let's make sure all his injuries are ready to go. That way, when we need to play him 50 minutes a night, he'll be ready to rock and roll.
I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know what we necessarily need, but I can tell you that the last 2 weeks for Florida Panthers hockey hasn't been the best.
No, it's been really bad. It's been really bad.
We need something. I mean, if it's Ekblad, if that's what's been missing, which I don't frankly think it is, I think he only adds. I don't think, you know, necessarily it's going to be a bad thing for us. But, you know, I think this core group, man, that was balling, you know, just a month ago, like something's going on with them right now, dog.
I mean, you mentioned in their last 10 games, they're 2-8. That's not good. No bueno. And that's straight up losses, you know, one overtime, you know, loss and 1 overtime win.
And
but
there's a shutout in there, Papa.
Yeah.
They got shut out by the Predators.
Yeah, which suck. Those guys suck.
Nashville.
Yeah.
If you know where they were from.
But yeah, I think that the Panthers really have to lock in, right? They're in that same boat with the Heat. They got 6 games left on the season. They're playing tonight as well. They're up in Ottawa. Very winnable game before they head out into another playoff atmosphere game Saturday at Boston. You know, who's trying to A, win the division and win the conference, and B, still stay in the hunt for the best record overall in hockey, which is super important. I don't know, man. The Panthers playing Ottawa 2 times in the next 3 games. That's a big swing. You know, hockey is such a temperamental game, let's call it, right? Where you guys can clear out a lot of bad blood. How focused are these guys going to be tonight? Are they locked in? Can they find that switch to turn on and say, all right, guys, we can't go into the playoffs this way. We only got 6 games left. Like, we need to get back into winning mode. I would love to see them win 5 games, out of these next 6. Go out there and take 5 out of these next 6. Really reestablish yourself in a position where you're like, all right, I'm putting pressure on other teams to just perform while I'm doing my thing and getting points here, right? If the Panthers can get back to that, find that rhythm, that'll be huge because they've already shown, right, that they have all different aspects to equate big winning. They have the scorers, they have the guys who can kill penalties, they have the good goaltender, they have the good defenseman, like they have all the pieces. They just need to line it up, right? We got really close last year, but something was a little bit off. Now, for this run, they have to find that momentum. That way, when they head into the playoffs, they can turn that light switch on and get back to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's the goal, dog.
I mean, 100%, dog. We need to win, especially with this team. But I'm sorry to kind of deviate from the Panthers for a second here, but you did mention, let out some steam and get some, aggression out on the ice. Did you see the brawl between the Devils and the Rangers? Dog,
the fact that there were more fights than the referees could handle was amazing.
Bro.
5 fights literally on the ice. These dudes, nobody even it
was the initial puck drop.
That's it.
They dropped the puck, and instead of going for the puck, they dropped their stick, they dropped their gloves, and went straight at it, dog. It was awesome. And it was like some the scene from The Replacements when Falco finally comes back and they get their get back first play.
Yeah,
that's like what it looked like, bro. It's like some movie shit right there.
Bro, you ever watch the movie Goon?
No, I haven't. With Shaw
Scott, go watch that.
Be an enforcer.
Yes, guy, go watch that. It's a classic. Shout out to Blaze.
It used to be on Netflix for a long time.
I'm sure it's out there. But I say that because, people don't really notice this, but in hockey, those guys talk a lot while they're playing. Like, they talk a lot of shit while they're playing, right? So imagine for them to say, yo, let's fight. That happens all the time. So let's fight. The other guy was in the back, you're a P. And he's like, what? I got you. And it was just lining them up, boom, there he is. And there was 5 really good fights. And even better than the fights was the commentary. If you haven't heard the commentary from the New York Rangers announcer, please do yourself a favor. Go to YouTube while you're here watching this episode. And when you're done, go to YouTube, punch in that fight, and listen to the call. It is gold. It is gold.
I mean, they're going at it right there. There's already one going at it right there. Look at Rempe. This is the rookie.
Yep.
That's like 6'8".
Yep.
And
the other guy's still taller than him.
This is the start of the game.
Yes, guy. 2 seconds in. Eight players ejected. Right yeah. Wow. Boom. Wow. Boom. Because those gloves, dog, that helmet isn't even that thick, dog. You know that, right?
Yeah, no, it's a little tiny thing.
He's like, come on, dog? Where you at?
Show me something.
Listen.
Bro, this is crazy. This is going on.
Bro, I feel like the announcer did a perfect job here.
This has gone so long.
Yep.
It's still going. You got to watch this video.
It's amazing.
You got to see it for yourself. I know you're probably watching it right now through us vicariously, but you got to. Oh, Rempe's down.
Yep.
He's back up.
Tough fight.
That kid's tough, bro. Like his debut, he came out swinging.
You're literally. You're a badass to be going against guys, that are fucking way stronger than you. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Way more experienced fighting.
Way more experienced fighting, dog. Like, it's not like that kid was fighting like this in fucking college. So let's
never know. I don't even. They probably didn't allow it.
No way. Not in college, dog. No way. But yeah, that's badass.
Great clip.
Great clip, man. Great clip. Great call by the announcers. Good job, guys. What do you want to finish on, bro? We can talk about either upcoming Masters or we can.
Any Dolphins news? Any Dolphins updates or news?
No, bro. We're just getting ready for. I'm slowly getting ready for the draft. You know what I mean?
Oh shit! Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, sure.
Vontae, man.
Yeah, Devontae.
He was Vontae Davis, right?
Yeah, Vontae Davis.
Dolphins drafted him, former first-round pick. He was found dead in his home recently. So he played for the Colts.
35 years old, man.
Yeah, man. Real sad. He was here in Southwest Ranches or whatever. That was the Dolphins news that I was probably thinking of right there, which is some sad news. But we'll switch it over to something lighter,
positive,
so that we can recap. We can finalize this. But next week, man, it's the golf. It's a Super Bowl of golf.
Yes.
Next week, essentially, is what we got going on.
And the big cat
is back.
He's back.
Yeah, Tiger Woods and the Masters. The world is right. Everything is right in the world once again.
Is that it? Without it, it's not.
It really isn't, bro. But yeah, we were going to be taking the stroll down Magnolia Lane and taking a look at the azaleas and the big cat swing. And we're going to see all out brawl.
Yeah, for sure.
Augusta. I'm expecting one this year, bro.
Absolutely.
People are playing out of their fucking mind right now.
Yes, guy.
Bro.
Brooks is on fucking fire on Live.
I don't know what Brooks is doing on
Rom
Live,
is doing really well.
but I mean, and Rom, I haven't seen what any of those guys are doing. They're playing this week, subsequently here in Miami, which I'm gonna try to go to that at least one day.
Get that footage. You see why you gotta subscribe to my dog's channel? Get out of here.
Get out of here, dog. But we're gonna try. We got Scotty Scheffler, who's
playing amazing,
out of his fucking mind right now.
Amazing.
You have John Rahm, who you just said is playing some good golf, and he's the reigning champ.
Wyndham Clark.
You got Wyndham Clark, who's the defending U.S. Open champion.
Steph Curry threes out there.
Runner up in 2 major tournaments to Scotty Scheffler.
Right.
You got over on the Live Tour, you got another guy in Joaquin Niemann, who, not for nothing, but we've had a Spaniard win there before, and Sergio Garcia. Maybe he has some secrets for him or whatever, tells him what to do.
Winning is winning.
You add that with a great game that he's playing right now.
Yes.
And who knows, bro? Like the field this year is crazy. We're going to get to finally see all of the Live guys competing amongst all of the PGA guys, which last year was phenomenal to watch.
And we also have the vets. We talked about Tiger, but, we got Phil there, who played really good at last year's Masters, was in the running pretty much until the last moment of the final round. So
one of 2 Live guys at the end.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there was 3 guys.
The top 10.
And this is a guy who obviously is super experienced in that course. Doesn't have to attack it aggressively like some of these other guys do, right? He can play it kind of smooth. I'm excited, man. I'm excited, bro. And hopefully we can do what we want to do for that Masters, man. That shit'll be dope. We got to plan it out.
Yeah, that'll be super dope. But I don't know. We're going to talk about it a little bit more next week about the Masters.
Yes.
I don't know. We got some show constraints next week. We might have a StreamYard coming your way next week.
Yeah. But it might be, again, a fun stream, right? We're going to have possibly a guest or 2 who are not decided yet, but get ready for some good content coming up.
You're going to be traveling and I might be traveling. So, yeah, we're going to bring it to you StreamYard next week. So get ready. It's going to be a dope one.
But you know how you stay tuned? By telling a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell another friend.
To tell everybody they know.
To tell everybody they know. To turn on the notifications on the YouTube channel while you're subscribed. You feel me? Because once you do that, then you get notified when we're dropping these amazing hits and we're dropping these amazing videos for you guys, man. Not anybody. Nobody's doing this like we do in South Florida. So make sure you guys are telling a friend. Till next time.
Peace.